Hi everybody, this is Ruben Lane again with Creative Integration Studio. Hope everyone's having a really nice World Earth Day. I've been thinking all this week about what project I can start or what can we rock out to this week. I wanted to avoid doing another concert for a minute and perhaps try to do something more along the lines of like an installation. Working out the details right now for something really cool for next week. But for now, I was hunting down, okay, what can I show that, has like some sort of flexibility to it. And a really good idea came to mind as a potential project landed on my lap. And so here, let's switch over to that for a second. Actually, we don't need to see this. Whoops, fat finger that. Cool. So there is a relatively new museum in Miami called the Frost Museum. It's got a really cool planetarium right out front. The highway passes right next to it. And I remember that a concept for when it was going to open was that there would be some art projections on the planetarium and the museum itself. And I figured this would be a really cool project to work on. So with that said, I think that would be a really cool project to recreate. It may have to do a little bit with the Blender side. I downloaded a model that I haven't really opened to see how good the quality of it is. So we're gonna go into Blender, open this model, try to clean it up, and then take that model into AI and let's try to make some magic happen. So let's get to it. All right, so first things first. I am looking for my camera that at times decides to just do its own thing. Ha, there it is. Cool, so let's get working on this thing. How can we get this? So I downloaded this FBX. It cost $50. So I am hoping for some prime quality, or if not prime, at least something decent. Downloads, Frost Museum, source. Did I not specify that it was an FBX? File import, FBX, poink. Texture, there it is. Come on down, let's boogie. Ooh, is it that big? Whoa! It is as I feared. This model is dropping bombs on your moms. That's funny. This model is sadly looks to me like a photogrammetry model, which normally I don't have a problem with. And if I can remember the shortcut for rotating. Jesus, come on, Blender skills, come back to me. Let's just use different cameras. Yeah, this is like a photogrammetry model. So I mean, it would be useful for some stuff. Oh, that's it. It is useful for some stuff, but there's definitely not the level of detail that I would expect. I wonder if I can even. Can you even? What's up, Cade? If you haven't done so already, be like Cade And say hi on the comment section so that I know who you are. Okay, yeah, this model is not necessarily the nicest. Hey, Jorge. This is not exactly what I wanted to see. It's quite gnarly. And of course, I don't have Vectorworks installed on this machine because I was gonna work on that project for some other time. All right, so let's try to clean this up a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm sure we can use this. First things first, let's go ahead and go to, I think, a top view. Yeah, and we're gonna get rid of some of this extra detail that we very much do not need. Yeah, 8 is top view, right? 8, and then 5. Doink, doink, doink. Cool, let's go ahead and select this thing, and wow, look at all that geometry. This is redonkulous. Okay, good. So let us use the B box selection tool here. And, oh yeah, man, this thing is, you know what? I'm actually really upset. I'm gonna have to make my case against the modeler that sold me this, because that's really actually not cool. It's not even I'm noticing now by the level of detail on it that this is not even a photogrammetry model. Like, this is not someone that went out and flew their drone there themselves and decided to create a model from scanning the area, but instead it looks to me like, hey, come on. It really looks more like, hey, let's just grab some images from like Google Maps and hey, Matt. Okay, so let's grab vertices here, and we're going to B for box selection, and there's so much geometry I can't even see. I can't even see what I'm doing. Dude, that is some hardcore stuff. B, shrink. Yeah, you guys can go. And then on top of that, oy vey. Toink, toink, toink. Hit tab here to set some boundaries. So what have you guys been up to this week? Anything fun and exciting in your world? I think, you know what? Look, I really wanted to do this. I'm thinking that this is perhaps more trouble than it's worth to go in raw like this. I really expected this model to, it looked a lot cleaner online. This is what we're gonna do. We are gonna Control N, we'll start from scratch. Blender's crashing. That's how bad this model is. It's crashing. So let's get some Blender action going on. And we are gonna, oh, this is gonna be a fun stream because we're gonna do some blendering, we're gonna do some notch, we're gonna do some AI, and then we're gonna put it all together and just make magic, make fun stuff. So first things, we'll add a sphere. So they do that through the Create tab, and we'll just add a, it's somewhere in here. I know it to be here. I know in my heart it's true. The secrets I'm looking for are right in front of me. Cube, circle, UV sphere, dot oink, and I want that at 0, 0 though, not somewhere random in space. I want you to sit nice and pretty at 0. Doink, and we're gonna make this, I mean the physical aspects of it. I have tried the new version of Blender and it is pretty sick. However, there are a number of differences to how you apply materials, and not so much to apply them, but how you actually get to visualize what you're working on when it comes to skinning and texturing stuff. And I've been I've been learning too many different things in the past month and a half. My problem, and again, this is because I'm not a, this goes back to the conversation that I actually was having with John DaCosta last night, where was, listen, this is great. You're welcome. Like, what do you want to be in life? It really comes down to it. It is, do you want to be a modeler? Do you want to be an animator? Do you want to be a media server tech? Do you want to be a content creator? Do you want to be a programmer? This is great that we're all learning some basic new skills. I know this Blender really well. And I know that if I gave the new Blender the time of day, which I have, I would get really good at it. I sadly don't have the time for it. And it's not that it's really that hard. It's got more to do with how how much time do I really want to put into something that I don't use every day. And again, for what I do with Blender, which is primarily this basic modeling, basic UV mapping, this is actually faster than the new one. That's really the reality. And especially, you can export to 3ds on this Blender. You cannot do that on the new Blender. Their 3ds exporter is not ready. So again, more reasons why the new tool is really cool. It's just not providing me with the tools that I actually need. Thus, this is fine. It's fine. Okay, so we have our model. We're gonna do some sphere tricks. I think this is gonna be great. I think this is cool. We're gonna create the sphere. We're going to UV map it, which is what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna UV map this baby by going to the UV image editor, and let's see, what does this guy's UV map look like? Well, there is no UV to it yet, so we have to create it. And you know what? We should be able to just do U and then unwrap, and that's just like. Doink, doink, doink. Let's see. Okay, let's see what that does. That doesn't seem like a very friendly model. So let's let's put an image that we're all very familiar with, such as the AI test patterns. You know what? Next week, no, not next week. Next week we have something planned. I can't wait to show you guys, but soon, maybe I'll sit here and show you how I make my test patterns. And we'll make some that are branded to Creative Integration Studios. Goodness. Okay, so we have this. Let's change this over to, I want to see my texture. Ah, that's what we're seeing. No, that's not what we want. We want a different type of, let's see, what if we do a sphere projection? Ooh, hello. That is kind of what we want. No, that's actually exactly what we want. We just have a few random little bits here. Let's find out where those are coming from by selecting them. Actually, we'll select the actual faces. That way we can see exactly what we're dealing with here. Okay. And doink. A. I think I have to go like this. Nope. You guys are so quiet over there. What's going on? What's going on in the comment section? What am I? Just your entertaining monkey online that you get to log in for free and watch me make a butt out of myself? No, I don't think so. You guys better talk. Keep me entertained while I keep you entertained. That's how this works. Let's be very clear. Okay. So yeah, that's good. I guess it's supposed to be like some random. Actually, I know where it's at. It's gonna be like this one last bit. There it is. Found it. And that's because now I can also, let's go back to my front view. And I'm gonna do if you hit 5 to put in orthographic camera. Let's try another type of project, not from view, because we definitely want to get the spherical goodness of it. Oh, we have to, there's a seam trick to it, and I think there is a plugin that they added for this. You know what? No, this is not. That's not the case of this. Where I'm happy with this. This is gonna work just fine for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this and export it to 3ds, and we want to make sure that this is, as we said last time, -Z forward and Y is up and selection only. And let's dump this on our desktop of desktopness. Desktop. Sure, we'll call this Le Sphere. No, you know what? We'll call it Earth. That's it, because it's World Earth Day. Doink. Lovely. So sweet. So just to prove that out, we're going to come over to our stage construction and we're going to clear that screen model, and we'll dump our Earth Cafe baby. 111. That's a big sphere. Let's just do a scale reduction. So we'll do like 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Just so that it's a little more manageable. And there's a sphere in 3D. Man, I love how easy that process is in AI. Cool. Sweet. I like this. I can get with this. This is working out. Difference between 3ds and Collada. That is a really good question. So, I'm not well versed enough to give you a full background on it, but when it comes to compatibility, AI can read 3DSs with the UV map that is attached to that. It can do the same thing with OBJs and DAE. I could have used DAE Collada files as well. Not sure, again, what the differences are between them, but 3DSs give me more versatility with the mapping engine inside of AI, which is why I always suggest, hey, 3ds is the gold standard for AI. So cool. So we have our goody goodness here. We are gonna go ahead and actually, part of me thinks that if we did like 1080 by 1080, no. I think it just feels like that's all right, but it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like this needs to be 2048, 1024 type thing. Maybe that will make it seem right. Like a square is not a square type thing. Like a square is very much a rectangle. 2048 times 0.66. No, that's not what we did. Let's just stick to that. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I can't really get. Actually, I know that DAE is it's a much more complex file because you can actually it can carry the materials that you create in it. It's kind of like an FBX that it allows you to create, like you have the geometry and the materials in it, if I remember correctly. Just again, 3ds just makes it like when we're doing the oh Jesus, um, the stage morphs, yes, last week. You need to use 3ds files for that. Only 3ds files work on that. Um, cool. So right, we have this, and we have Notchy Notch, and we're gonna start with a blank project. And we're gonna turn on the everythings. Give me all the goodies. I want it all. Yes. I want the heaviest possible file I can have. And now I'm gonna grab my sorry. I just realized that I was working on Notch in the wrong screen and you couldn't see what I was doing. How rude of me. How rude. Hey. Come on, Notch. Play nice. I will have to change my work space a little bit because I'm used to working on a 4K giant monitor, but this is fine. Cool, so we are going to now import my earth in here. Just again, drag and drop. Hello? Oh, I would laugh if 3DSs are not supported inside of Notch. No, they are supported, aren't they? Import resource, 3D, 3D object, desktop. Nope. Maybe. Oh, goody. Well, you know what? We're not doing any crazy stage morphing this week. Ay, oy vey. World Earth Day. This is turning out to be harder than I thought. Export. Let's do a DAE. We'll do Colada. That's fine. See, this is. I think Jorge just set me up. I think that's what happened. Earth.yay. Lovely. Oh, selection. Apply modifiers. That's good. Oh, in the wrong screen, as always. Triangles. Yep. Materials. Yep. Good. Operator. Yeah, and just making sure that all our options are correct. I guess so. Export. Great. Let's minimize you and let's bring you in. Oh, are you kidding me? This is what happens when you don't do your homework, folks. Export to. It never fails. FBX. Doink. And doink. There we go. Okay, and let's see, what have we got here? We will connect our guy right here. We'll put a, I believe we're gonna need a regular camera for what I'm trying to do here. Duh. Let's go full screen. Okay, so we need a camera. And we're gonna need a light. Normally I like using area lights, but actually no, we can use an area light for this, I think. And we'll switch over to our camera on 6. And then our, no. No. Let's stick it. I just came up with an idea of what I want to do with this. Light. And yeah, where's our light? Cool. Doink, doink, doink. And both of y'all, I'm going to say, take this as a target. This way it's going to be really simple for me to do this. In theory. Wait a minute. Where's my sphere? Oh, yeah, it helps when you move out of the way. Okay, so let's go into that camera view. Cool. So I have my camera and my light right now, so that I think kind of what I'm working with. So I have the two of them kind of like paired together. There's another easier way to do that, where I can just enter a null. And this is actually my favorite way of working is through nulls. I create nulls that kind of parent everything, and that way now I can actually put this guy's back to 0. And what I do is I just grab my null and I move that guy, and wherever that null was moving, basically here I'll just shut down this stuff. Wherever the null moves, everything that's under that null is moving along with it in 3D space. So if we show that here, I have the null and I have the camera and the light. And so basically by just moving the null that acts as a parent, that moves the everything with it. The reason why we weren't seeing a whole lot of changes before is because I'm using a really cool option here that allows me to say, hey, I want you to take both for the camera and the light target, I want you to use the position of the sphere as a target. So kind of like a self-focusing mode into that. Ta-da! Cool. Now, let's make this sphere do some fun stuff. It would be perhaps nice to find a Earth map that we can put on that. So let's find Earth texture. Sure. Okay, yeah, hello. This looks pretty. Yeah, this fits my bill. I like it. It's texture, but not too much. Save image as. We'll put that on the desktop as well, so it's easy to find. We'll call it Earth text or texture. And we will switch right back to El Nacho. Keep getting my displays confused. Notchy notch, notchy notch. Cool. So now we want to feed this texture into our model. We're gonna need a material node for that. Material just used to specify the material that you're applying. Very much like in AI Salvation, how you feed a piece of geometry a texture, you gotta specify that. So in this case, we're gonna apply a material to it, and that material just happens to be this image. Yay, except for that look is wrong, because our front is the way that we want it. So we need to also put a mapping node. Wait. You go in like this. And now on our mapping node, we get to decide. Actually, is that correct? Let's see. We are going to feed. Take our mapping node and we can change. No. Change the type from planar to spherical. And we can do local normal. Perspective. Nope, you know what? I'm just realizing that the object rotation is off between, this is an assumption, but I think that we are dealing with, yeah, some funky rotations. And let's go ahead and grab this model. And we're also going to put a continuous modifier so that we can make it spin. Rotation heading, in theory, should be what we're looking for. And let's do the speed. Let's do 100. No, we got to apply it directly to the sphere. So, yeah, see, this is the problem that I have with FBXs. You know what? What's happening here? Let's go back to, well, first of all, where's my keycast? Doink. Okay. And second of all, I'm looking for Blender. Just gonna change that yet again to, it's gonna end up turning out to be an experiment on the different types of formats. Export, let's use an OBJ instead. And one thing that I think we can specify here, yep, minus Z forward, Y up, which is also the same way that both Notch and AI operate within the same coordinate system. So that makes life a lot easier. And we're gonna come here and import resource 3D OBJ, which would be a, no, 3D on the desktop, please, thank you. Earth. Seeing the file extensions will be epic. Just having that type of day, huh? Well, you know what? Latest timestamp, good. Perfect, yep. And this 3D object, instead of that guy, let's switch that from the FBX to, nope. OBJ. Sweet, yay, there we go. See, this is what I like about OBJs. It's just a single package. See, no more rotation issues. All's well with the world. All is right. Target, look at that. Just look at that. Brilliant. One thing though is our camera. Or is it you? No, that's tracking correctly. I'm going to reset you guys to 0. And you're fine, you're fine. You are gonna move back. Cool. Now I'm gonna grab my object here and I'm gonna feed it this continuous modifier so that, yay, we have a spinning earth now. Lovely. One problem that we're having is that, is it upside down? I know it's going super fast. It's because we were trying to really just proof it. Let's make this like a 20. And our texture here needs to be flippity flopped, which is a known issue. So I can flip my image on the Y. On the Y, we're having a little bit of a X scale issue. So I can come into my material and give it a little, let's switch this continuous modifier off for a second and just find exactly where that seam is, right there, and we'll grab this guy and adjust the X, no, adjust the X scale on the UV. May need to offset it as well too. That's kind of sure. I'm kind of okay with that. Kind of. I want to get some stuff done within the hour. So, okay. So we have our itty bit of content here being applied to the sphere. Now, I could have just done all this in AI by just coming over to Poink. I could have just come in here and said, hey, here's my sphere that I know it's mapped well-ish. And I could have just dragged and dropped, oh, come on. I could have just dragged and dropped this puppy right here and say, hey, you, do the thing. And I could have even rotated this, that would be Z rotation. Rotate my content so it's like so. Actually, funny thing, you can see it, you guys can see my outputs rotating on output 1 and 2 down there, yeah. And I could have then used this an effect called scroll. This would actually be the special trick to make it look like we're spinning without spinning. Dancing parrot, dancing parrot. However, I'm kind of limited to that, and I really wanted to do something a little more fancy and schmancier and flanshier and more of a flesh-eating monster than just this. So by going in here and doing that, so for example, now I want to add a bump map so I want to give this material, I want to make that earthy. So we can grab this video loader and we'll Actually, we'll use the same video loader. Never mind me. We'll put a color correction. Actually, we need, first of all, we need a video null, which basically is just gonna take that texture and say, hey, now anything that comes out of that, it's still the same texture, except we're gonna do some trickery to it, such as we're gonna grab a color correction, color correction. Where are you hiding? Color correction. Thank you. And we're gonna control F1 to preview it on our preview there. Lovely. And we'll select this color correction, and what I want to do is desaturate it, and we'll do a bump map. We'll use it as a bump map. By also, I want to boost some of these levels. Sure, something like that. And then we'll feed the output of that. So let's go back to Control F1, yep. And then we'll feed this to the diffuse, normal, specular displacement map. And on here, we'll say, hey, that displacement, make it gray. Displacement, where are you? Settings, displacement amount, yep. Womp. You can see how it's affecting the geometry of it, and it's just kind of taking it. Well, the Earth is not that bumpy. I totally forgot that we had offsetted that sphere. So camera, can you go a little bit higher than that? Rotation. I need to turn off the camera. Yep. And now I can, there we go. Cool. Okay. Now, it's okay that it's kind of like this, all messed up. Can I increase the light intensity? Of course. Let's grab this light and say brightness. Let's make it up to 3 or so. Doink. Is it just hard to see, or? Yeah, you can see all the weird bumpy deformations that are being made by the... Also, I think... Yeah. I think... Now I'm wondering if it would have been a better idea to use a 3D object or just use the plain old, same old... If I went here and did a 3D shape instead, shape 3D, which is the default Blender shape. Hey, wrong scale. Sorry, that is really funny. That is a crazy amount of displacement because the object itself. Also, let's make the subdivisions like 100 by 100. Yeah, that displacement is crazy, yo. Let's rain it back down a bit. Oh, but that looks more like, I know it's extremely exaggerated, but actually here's a crazy example of how displacement works. So now I can come over to my color correction and I can modify these values. Perhaps by doing that, I can get a much better shift double click. That's it. Perhaps by doing this, let's just reset the whole module. Right. So we're gonna first of all desaturate it because we just need a black and white image for this. Color correction, desaturation, and we can now bust. You can see how if I, actually that would be a really cool like visualization exercise. We do need to do something about our South Pole friends because, and we can, you need to put a trim or a crop. Keep putting my mouse on the wrong screen. Here, let's put a little, I think it's a crop processing, yep. And we'll put this guy here as well. We're just gonna take some of that, there we go. I wish there was a way to like a crop with like a soft edge. That would be really, really useful for something like this. And we're also gonna take this shape and let's blow it up. And the reason why I wanna blow it up is because it will help. See, we don't seem to be able to win this war. But my idea was that if we blew up the sphere, then we'd have an easier time with the displacement. So that, oh, you know what? Let's do a quick effect on this just to get us kind of out of here. 3D object, let's say, no, I'm looking for 3D edge. No. What's lines? I'm looking for a particular effect. 3D object outline. And I wonder if this will affect. It has to be on the camera. Yep, that's right. It's the post effect. It does. And, but, wait, even better. Let's just make the lines visible on the sphere and see what we can see. Again, I'm just trying to give it, I don't know, is that what we want? Kind of. Just not all those lines. Can we reduce? Definitely want to see the silhouette lines and no. I had an idea, but it's just kind of gone with it. One other thing that we can do is we will add to this light. First of all, we're going to make sure that everything is being seen by this camera. First things first. And this is zoop. Because what we're going to do after this is all done is take this is a notch block into AI for playback. Man, can we find a better texture than this? Because this is gnarly. All right, whatever. And let's do, I want to add a really funky party lighting to the scene in a way. So I'll have, here's a good use for nulls, like I was saying before. If I just grab this null, I'll copy it, I'll paste it over here, and I'll Control R to connect that to the root. And now I'm gonna grab my lights, and I'm gonna connect my lights to this null. We're gonna get out of this view, we're gonna go back to kind of like our orbit view. And we are going to zoom out. So we can see one camera's there, one light's here, and the other one's same place. So what I want to do is both of these lights, I still want you to lock on this target, which is our Earth, but I'm going to move one light to the, it's a Q, one light over here, and then the other light, it's gonna be like over here. Awesome. And you are gonna be, let's give you some magenta feel. And let's give this one a cyan feel, because I am still a lighting guy. So it is what it is. And then we'll grab one of you. We can still do some. Take a look at this camera view. Cool. And then you missed over here. Let's do some rotation. Okay, the target's still the same. And then what we'll do is we'll grab this null and we'll rotate that with a continuous modifier. And we're going to be doing the bank, I believe. It's a rotation that we want to have affected. So now when we go over to our other, and let's turn on view while playing here for a second. We can see, I guess they are just really far away. Just not. Yeah, they're just really far away to do the effect exactly how I wanted it. So let's get this guy's closer here, and then once that's done, we'll take you over here, and we'll take you over here, and now this we should be able to do. Yeah, you can see how the reflections on the planet are happening because the lights are rotating like this. And let's add some particles to this. Just because we can, because we're celebrating Earth Day. Yeah, and we have like a good 20 minutes left. So real quick, particles. We'll put this in its own root, it's fine. And we'll put I'm making a really messy patch. I'm kind of ashamed of myself, but that's fine. I'm not trying to woo anyone, just keeping the muscle flexed and happy. So we'll put Let's see. I want a primitive emitter, or do I want trail? Primitive. We'll do our primitive, doink doink, and then for renderer, we're gonna do both particles, points to get us started, and trails at the same time. Cool. We're gonna grab our emitter. Yep. Emitter guy here, and you gotta go 3, and let's make you nice and chunky. Hey. Abrazos, Jorge. Okay, cool. And we'll put some trails on that guy. Actually, let's turn off this, the points. We're just gonna keep the trails, but we need the trails to move in order to do that. So we're gonna put an effector on it. Let's do a curl noise. Curl. Turbulence. More of a turbulence guy myself. Doink. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I kind of like all that movement. The one thing that I will do is I want those trails to be way longer, just so that they're more visible on this. Dun, 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 dun. Trail. Where's the life? Decay, nice and long, and what else am I looking for to make this? Actually, on the renderer, let's make these guys emissive to give it a nice. Actually, let's keep. Okay, now that we have those, let's bring back our particles. We'll make the particles smaller. Let's zoom in here for a second. I'm gonna make those particles a little bit smaller. But I will give them some emissiveness. Wabba 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 woo woo woo. Wabba 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 on a doodly doo. Wabba wabba wabba, you can. I forgot. Dang, I forget. If you wabba me, I'm gonna wabba you. Emissiveness. Let's bump that up to like 10. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to do here was emit on surface. Cool. Now, lovely. I kind of like that. It's let's move that camera back. Sorry. Use the Alt key to, no, Control. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Just a little maining in there. And now we are gonna grab this popper project. Because I want, this is the part that I forgot how to do, but we'll figure it out as we move along, which is I want to project I want to grab, do I need a UV camera? Is that what it is? Can turn off those boxes now. Okay. I think so. I think I need a UV camera. Yeah. So, oh, well, wait a minute. If I put that there, then I'm not seeing, I am seeing the particles. They're just not, Okay, so this is what's happening. If I was to use the regular camera, right, and export my project based on this camera, then the result would be more of a, here's a texture that looks just like this camera's output, right? But that's not what we have. We have a 1920 by 1080 raster, then we apply it to our sphere. So I need to now kind of grab everything that's happening in here and export it in a UV format so that we can see it over in our project. Duh. So for that, instead of using a regular camera in my project, I need to use a UV camera. Hopefully that makes some sense. Now, the tricky part is that I need to see the particles, which for whatever reason are not, and I think it's because the camera position is, yep, that's it. The camera is inside the sphere, so it's only seeing what's inside the sphere. So now let's pause this for a second. And technically, let's see, -3 and -13. So, -3. So now if we check out this camera view, no. Huh. Did it? No, I see my UVs moving. Can you hear me, Kate? No, I don't do anything with batteries for audio. Still? How about now? Better? Different? Same? Perhaps what I need to do is wonder if I need to what do I need to do to add those particles to my, maybe I need to make my emitter. This part, another bit that I forgot. If I select my emitter here and maybe I need, because I can kind of see the particles there. Maybe I need to grab my material and do something silly like no. No, 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 no. That makes no sense. I think it might be you, Cade. Whew. That's weird. Back and have audio. Yeah, Cade, that's definitely you. Getting me all cuckoo here. For no good reason. What a naughty boy. Naughty, naughty, naughty. I'm having a problem now with this that I'm not sure what. This does make a difference, but it never does seem to show me. How to see these particles? How to see these particles? Oh, the render layer. Render layer. Da 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 da. Perhaps. I don't know. Render layer. And perhaps either through putting a render layer, I can kind of see them there. So they're in there. Like if I crop. No, that wasn't it either. Not render layer. Render to surface. Perhaps. Getting there. Exclusive render target surfaces. Target surfaces. Or maybe a render to texture. Is that what I need? And then feed that to my material. No, that would be silly. Man, I should have done more research on that. Doink, doink. Maybe it'll come up to me. It'll come to me while we do this. So anyway, let's for now forget about this camera and just keep this UV camera. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna export this project as a block. Whoa, 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 not VR. Block from media server. We'll put it on our desktop here for now. We're gonna call this Earth thing. Yeah, sure. And we're gonna stop this so that we don't have any extra processing going in the background. And we'll go back to our stage batch and say, hey, I have a notch block for you right here. Select notch file. I'll make my way to the desktop, and Earth thing is right there. I like it when you put it right there, right there. Not in stereo. Has it been in stereo this whole time? Why would I be in stereo? I'm like one person. Again, not an audio guy. So take that, common sense. Okay, so now I should be able to come over to here and say, hey you, I want you to play this effect called notch, and I'll select block 0. And there is our block playing back. Now, interesting things, because it's happening. I need to figure this part out. We're gonna have to come back to this and do it right. Because I'm getting what I wanted out of that, which was my texture the way that you expected to see it. But I'm not getting any of the movement, and I'm definitely not getting the particles in there. And I completely blanked on how to take those particles and add them. I'm sure it has to do with the render to texture or render. How much time do we have? Yeah. No, it's 2:15. And I'd like to open the floor for any questions. Unless you guys want me to continue just messing about and making a fool out of myself. What do you guys think? Is there any actual questions you guys may have? I'm gonna put here a Jesus. Insert module, controller, and I'm gonna make that a LFO going from going from -180 to 180, and I'm gonna feed that to my Y-angle adjustment, and then instead of having it on a 0 rotation, instead of having a sine, I'm going to put it on a saw, so just be continuous always. Yep, and we are also going to take the speed down a bit, a long bit. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm gonna try to fix. I'm gonna try to earth redemp myself. I'm gonna try to give this mini planet the coronavirus in hopes to improve its general appearance. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the air is so clean because of the low pollution that if you look at the clouds, you can actually see your files on the Dropbox directly sitting on the clouds. It's crazy. Crazy days we're living in. No, Kate, by the way, it's not you. I'm looking at my volume meter thing here, and my mic only goes into one channel. Dad jokes. Yeah. Proud of that too. Okay, let's try to Let's try to earth redemp myself here. What do I want to fix? Well, I have a lot of problems with this notch file. Definitely would like to see how, let's see, included object nodes, included objects. Does that mean that perhaps I need to like it didn't like that. I'll also include Okay, so that's now included in there as well. Why don't we look at that? UV camera. This is actually one of the best features about Notch. You can right click on, there's my object, there's the UV camera, and there's the light. Yeah. Content of a connected 3D object surface back into its UV texture map. This is most commonly used with media servers projection map objects where Notch renders the contents of the object surface and passes it to the media server as a UV temp texture map for application onto the same mesh in its projection system. Here's what I get from that. What I'm getting from that is that if I was to have I'm not sure what I'm getting from that, to be honest. What part of me wants to say, okay, dude, what you need to do is grab your particles, put them on like another layer, right? Like let's say here, I'll put a render. Actually, let's take a look at render to surfaces here for a second. Because I think it's got to do, it's interconnected. Renders connected objects and lights onto the surface of a chosen object. Right, so that's what we want. We want to render we definitely want to, okay, so if we said, I have this object, let's take a look at that map for a second. So attributes, affecting target surface, select which surfaces will have the rendered image applied to them. Okay, so I believe that is this guy here, and that says render nodes, render to surface. I think that's the input right there. Okay, and then, oh no, I think it's the output that goes into, that a sample here would be nice, Notch. Connected objects and lights onto the surface of the chosen object. I know this is exactly what I need. So I need to figure out the patchamacallit, the patchiness of this. It's not like this, but I think we're getting close. 1920. Hey. Background color. Okay. Hey. Okay. Good. We're getting there. Awesome. Now we need to alpha this so that the black doesn't show through, or I mean, I'm kind of okay with this. You know what? Let's try this. Let's go ahead and okay, since this is what we believe we have to do, I want to have both in the can. So I'm gonna duplicate I'm gonna duplicate this layer in AI, in Notch, sorry. So I'm selecting it and copying it and pasting it. And what I'm gonna do is on the original layer 1, because it's layer 2 now, right? So on the origin layer 1, I am going to select it, go ahead and go there, and I'm going to disable this so that I have access to both. Yeah, who's it? You know, who's it hurting? It's not hurting anyone, right? Only my pride or investigative ego. So I have layer 1 has this, layer 2 has that. I wonder what else I can do to improve this. Now, actually, see all these like really weird warps? I'm wondering if that has to do with the UV camera location. I doubt it. Because does it change at all? It does change. It does. There is a transformation when I do that. I'm not 100% sure what's changing. So I'm not really seeing a whole lot of change, but there is a weird change going on. Anyway, let's see what this looks like. So we'll go ahead and project, compile, block, and then we'll call it Earth 2. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Right? And now this. We'll go back over to AI and we'll just take it as notch block. We'll select an entire block. So desktop, Earth 2, Earth Cafe, baby. And I know that I keep saying this whole Earth Cafe, baby. I can't remember what comedian uses it, but for my LA folks, when we're back to normal, there's this really nice spot, Earth Cafe. I miss it. Kind of. I kind of miss it, but it's just nice to sit down and they have a really good menu too. Did I save that as another layer? Did I replace that block? I think I need to clear this for a second. And now I get to go. Hey, you. I don't think it liked me replacing a notch block in the structure while it was playing. Notch block 0. And yeah, I don't think they like that very much. So I'm gonna restore the first one. Okay, the first one's happy the way that he is. Good, he should be happy, you know? Now you, I want you to be on, here's a trick for this. When you don't have a console, you want perfect values, just insert the formula. So like if I want to go from 0 to 1, so that's 1, and then divide it by 255. And then that should be that next. Oh no, it's still, no. Did I finish exporting that the way that it's supposed to be? Yeah. Okay. Control Z. What am I doing wrong now? I feel like I'm saying that a lot today. I'll tell you what I did wrong. I jumped into this with like, I don't need to do homework. I'll just come in there and do it. And people are gonna love it. That's what's happening. among other things. Here. Wow. My fingers are crazy. Okay. That, doink, doink. I can get rid of. Cool. Ever since I deleted that module in AI hasn't been happy. So let's. Oh no. Maybe if I was in the actual window where I need to be at, that's good. Yeah, notch. We have our guy here happy, and we have our second guy here. Which I don't think he was very happy because I don't see this changing. And this should have changed. See if I change this when I load. Yeah, see, there's a problem with that first export. So let's fix that. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong. Project, compile from media server, select. I'm gonna select this Earth2, replace it yes, and hit OK. And now go back to AI, and let's see if we get to see that change yet again. All right, let's give that a shot. So, apply defaults. Now I'll probably need to have a texture loaded into the layer for the block to load. So let's do that. And we're gonna go over here to Effect 86. Brilliant. And that's block 0, layer 1. And now we're gonna do layer 2, which will be 1 divided by 255. No, sorry, my bad. It's another block. So 1 divided by 255. I'll be the next block over. Aha. Block 1, layer 1. So 1 divided by 255. What am I doing wrong? Lord, why have you forsaken me? Are you guys having as much fun as I am? Don't answer that. But that's fine. So let's let me try this. Yep. Earth 3. Point, and then let's load it in here. Select notch file, desktop, Earth 3. Still loading. Yeah, I think I must have done something that Notch doesn't like. Because it's not importing that loading to AI the way that it should. Yeah, it definitely did not like that. Ooh, fun. Oh, you know what it could have been? That I was running, that I've been running all of this whole time. Let's go ahead and save for now. Let's open AI. I have a theory. It's a silly theory, but maybe because I have technically Notch running and AI running, but each instance of the layer running is considered a different engine. So maybe having multiple Notch engines running is hitting up the license like, hey, what are you doing here? That's my theory. So if I went here and I did doink doink, and oh yeah, I gotta make sure that that's loaded in there. Notch, select Notch file, desktop 3. Yeah, that loaded just fine now. Cool. So now if I say, hey you, give me effect 86, boink. There we go. Cool. So now let's go over to our construction page and load that sphere. Boink. Boink. There we go. And let's make this 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Look at that. That makes sense now. What I'm not getting is where this... Oh, no. I'm not 100% sure where the exaggeratedly big particles are coming from. But I'm definitely getting all this is coming, all this information, the rotation, the size of the particles, all that's coming in directly on that Notch block. Now, since we finally got that working, let's now take control of the situation the way that we should have. So we're gonna go back into Notch and we're gonna expose some of those parameters so that we can take control of those parameters inside of AI. Make it nice and interactive. Or not necessarily interactive, but just so that we can control, like the rotation is nice and the particles are nice and all that, but we want to be able to have proper control of that. So, right, so let's get this started. That's running fine. It's definitely not liking running all those million particles at the same time. That's fine. So, where is Senor? Okay. First things first, I say is these particles, let's change this down to like 32,000. So let's make the emitter, I think I can just do that, and then they'll eventually all, perfect. So, cool, so I'm gonna expose this parameter. So that is hitting the question mark here, and we'll call that expose property. readable, and the name we're going to give it is, yeah, sure, emitter active. That's fine. Beautiful. Okay. What else? What else can we expose? The rotation of the whole system, actually, I think, would be nice. I'm not sure where the rotation is coming from right now, unless it's coming from this UV. Is it coming from this? It is. It feels that way. It is. Awesome. So let's go ahead and expose the speed. We're going to put, okay, so this is an interesting one. Because we want to be able to control that speed to go from stop to fast, but we also want to set a limit to how fast we want to go. I would say let's set this to like 20, which we've already agreed it's pretty fast the way that's been happening. So we'll grab that 20 value, and what we're going to expose is going to be the scale. That way we're just going to grab that maximum speed and, like, you know, max that out. So expose this parameter, and the property is the same, but the exposed property, we're going to call it rotation speed. Wow, my typing today is on fire. And we can see the continuous modifier. Oh, yep. What else can we export? You know what? If we want to see their trails, or just the vertices, or just the particles, we can make it so. So we'll also expose the particle visibility, the trails visible, great, and hit OK. And now we're gonna go project, compile for media server, and we'll say this is gonna be Earth. I'm gonna avoid pissing off the system. 3B. Save. Lovely. I am going to close Notch because I also don't want to piss that off either. And now I am going to, well, first I'm going to stop this block from running. Boop. Select Notch and say, hey you, I have a new block for you. And it's called Earth 3B, which is an alternate dimension to what you already have. Good, good girl. So let's see if that did it. So if we go over here to El Señor Notch. Boy, exact. Great. Notch block 0. Yeah, so you can probably see some particles going on in there, but we're gonna go ahead and turn on the emitter. So now we have control of that. We also have control if we want to see the trails. Beautiful. And we also have control of the rotation of that planet. Cool. So, what did we see today? So we saw Ruben messing up all over Blender, then doing the same thing in Notch, and then we imported all that into AI, and we tried actually we did achieve giving it control by exposing those parameters and taking control of that inside of AI, so that at that point you can control it with your console, you can control it with a MIDI controller, you name it. Last chance for questions, comments, concerns. I promise to do homework the next time and then do less time wasting and more productive tutorialism. Okay, well, with that, I am going to sign off because this has been an awfully long stream. And I will bid thee adieu, my friends, until next one. See you then. Cheers.